12 minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah! Yeah! Unbelievable! Divock Origi! Oh my word! Yes! This is extraordinary.
Hello and welcome to the Reds cast. It's been a busy, exciting week for Liverpool since the last time we spoke. Going to delve into it all with Ste as usual. How are we doing?
Afternoon, yeah, doing well. By the way, never change that intro. I get goosebumps every single time.
Well, that's a mad one really, because I've been thinking about that. What if he goes? Do I change the intro?
Do you know what? I still get the feels off it. I don't care if he goes.
It's been a mad week, hasn't it?
It's been boss.
Since we last spoke.
It's been boss.
Someone asked Jürgen the best in our history. Wouldn't go that far because we've won the league.
Not yet. He's got the potential there for that, but
yeah. So it started with Thiago Friday, which was just, we all knew it was happening. We knew for weeks. We all watched the Champions League final to watch Thiago, and then so we see that happening, and that's over the line, and you're like, yeah. A bit about that, and then out of nowhere, Jota's getting rumoured like the same day, and then he signs on Saturday.
That got done in no time. I think that was probably going on as long as the Thiago saga, but I think the club just released that, and then kept the other one quiet.
There was rumours that it was the backup to Ismail Assar because Watford wanted too much money. But then I've seen us linked with Ismail Assar again this morning. So
it's madness, and a defender from. Was it Schalke or someone?
Yeah,
that come out of nowhere as well.
The Turkish defender. The only time I've seen him was the other day when Bayern battered them.
That's a bit of a harsh critique, that though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I messaged the people now in Turkey, and he said like he's really good, and he's young, but I don't think we need a fourth choice centre back. I am quite happy for Fabinho to be a centre back.
I was gonna say I thought Fabinho was brilliant. Sky gave Mane man of the match, didn't he?
Yeah.
But for me, it was, and a lot of other people.
Fabinho got the Liverpool one, the Carlsberg one,
fully deserved. He was phenomenal.
Every single time he's centre half, he's unbelievable, isn't he? So, I mean, Gomez, I like Gomez, but he hasn't felt with confidence recently. So, if we was to start Fabinho with Van Dijk, and then that allows you to have Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Keita, or I mean, Henderson, Thiago, and Keita, or Henderson, Thiago, and Gini.
Yeah.
That excites me more than having to drop one of the midfield.
Yeah, although it's a bit of a mad one because Fabinho is probably like one of the best CDMs in the world. So you're sacrificing that. But, at the same time, he's one of the best centre-backs in the world going off that performance against Chelsea because he was just amazing. Like, teams target whoever is next to Van Dijk.
Yeah.
And I find Gomez sort of cracks under that a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
He has good games, he's a good defender, good player. But I think the pressure that the other teams put on whoever isn't Van Dijk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He sort of crumbles on it. But they tried it with Fabinho. Fabinho was just like, nah, I'm not having it.
He is world class wherever he seems to play. And but then in the same breath, if Fabinho was to play centre half, Thiago's going to play more of the holding role. But I want to see Thiago. Carragher mentioned it on the Sky Sports. He wants to see Thiago more advanced, because then passes, and you think if he plays in a more advanced role, he's got Salah, Bobby, Mane, and then whoever is his midfield partner in front of him to pick passes out, where when he's holding, he's got them players more. So, but when he's holding, he's pinpointing the pass from like our half, where when he's more advanced, he can just pick a whole defence out. There's a goal he done for Bayern from like the edge of the box, and he just dinked it over their whole defence, and Lewandowski got on the end of it.
I see him more as how Rafa played Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
Although he's sort of deeper lying, he's still creative.
Yeah.
Where he's more like a quarterback, where he'll just stand there and he will play them passes. Some of them passes he played, I know he got that, was it most passes in a half in the Premier League or something like that. And some of them were short passes and some of them were simple passes and that, but some of the passes he played were just like, it was getting between the lines and it was accuracy.
He's got an eye for a pass, when I was watching him, I know I'm not going to compare him to him, but when Stevie used to just sit there and just ping passes across the pitch, it felt like we were rolling back the years. I'd never compare anyone to Steven Gerrard. He's the best there is, best there was, the best ever will be, but it just felt like we were watching that again because he was just pinging them.
For me, I enjoyed watching him. He had a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching players with a smile on the face. Like, for me, Ronaldinho, one of my favourite players ever to watch, because no matter what's going on, he's got a grin on his face. And I've seen Thiago like that. He's smiling, enjoying it. And he come in and he fit in as if, like, he'd been there for years.
Yeah.
There was no, sort of an easy-ish situation to come into with them with 10 men, but you still got to do it.
It was interesting, wasn't it? I don't think Henderson was injured. I think Klopp's thought, these have got 10 men. We've got a fella who's like a quarterback.
Nice way to ease him in, like.
I think he'll probably get 90 minutes on Thursday against Lincoln, but we'll touch on that later on. But as far as debuts go, there's not much more he could have done, was there? Since records began in 2003, the most registered passes is now Thiago, and he done it in 45 minutes, which is just crazy.
Yeah, complete passes, by the way, not just pass attempts. Like,
complete passes. What do you make of Coutinho? I know Alonso would always give Liverpool a glowing recommendation, but Thiago said Coutinho and Alonso. So all the fans who don't like Coutinho for the way he left, I understand he faked an injury, but he was still one of our best players, and he's still recommending the club. He's
still got the club in his heart, I think.
It's his biggest regret, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think for 99% of players that come to Liverpool, regardless of how they leave, they still have that sort of affinity to the club.
Yeah.
Although he left under a cloud, I think he still enjoyed it when he was here.
I'd have him back, mate. I've said it to you when we were linked, didn't I? I'd have him back, and people wouldn't. But now we've got Thiago, I don't think I would have him back, because I know Coutinho is probably a little bit more creative and it can score better goals, maybe. Thiago just unlocks...
Thiago's more complete.
He unlocks Holland Wijnaldum, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
Wijnaldum looked good when Thiago came on, and if we can have Wijnaldum playing how he plays for Holland, that's just another avenue.
It is, yeah.
But touching on Wijnaldum, I've seen rumours that he's going to stay this year and leave for free next contract. Year.
I'd take that.
Would you?
I would.
Why?
Well, look, he's give us all for the final year. But, how much are we going to get for him now anyway?
You'll
last year
get
of his
about 20 mil.
Do you reckon?
Same what Thiago was last year of his contract.
What do you replace him with? For 20 mil?
We've got that enough midfielders.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go at all. I just want to sign a new contract. That's
I'll take that. No, the best option is that he takes the new contract, but if he doesn't, then...
To be honest with you, I can see a lot of people probably jumping ship at the end of the year. If we win the league this year, if we win a double this year, which is what I'm hoping for, I can see a lot of people going. Like, there's been BT Sport put something on a Bleacher Report and that about Mbappe is in regular talks with Liverpool and Real Madrid about a move next year. Now, that obviously only happens if Salah or Mane probably go. Bobby stays in my eyes. So I think the one who generate the most money will probably be Salah.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have more chance of doing a swap deal because of how loved he is by... I can't think of the word. Is it the United Arab Emirates, them countries, the Middle East. Yeah, the Middle East. He is adored. Like, he won the awards, didn't he, in the FIFA Club World Cup when he wasn't really that good. Just
because of who he was.
So it's more chance of him going. But I can see a lot of players jumping ship because what more can they do?
I know. I seen a thing as well about non-homegrown players. We're pushing the limits, aren't we?
Yeah, you've got to have so many. That's why City loan Scott Carson.
Yeah. You're only allowed so many who aren't homegrown, and you've got to have so many whatever.
Yeah.
The amount of non-homegrown players we've got, I think, is on the limit. So we can't. It'd be mad to get that defender in.
Yeah. Well, we probably just... I don't know if defenders who aren't, or attackers or any player who aren't from England, but they've been in the academy for so long can then represent. Because there's, like, Brewster, though he represents England, he can represent, like, Jamaica and all stuff like that, can't he? But I think he can represent England because of the academy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... I would never... I'd sell whoever we need to sell to get Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
He'd be 23 at that age, so unbelievable. Touching on Jota then, before we go into the Chelsea game, was you surprised?
Very. I'm not disappointed because he's got Premier League experience. I was surprised by the fee.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was surprised by the fee, but I've sort of stopped taking that into consideration, the price of a player, because it's everyone's silly money.
Yeah.
You know, we're spending 40 million on Jota. United got that, what's his name, Van der Beek or whatever it is, for like 20 million. He's quality, him, you know.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, transfer fees don't really bother me that much, but...
Yeah, and I suppose, like, we've saved money in Thiago and that, but a lot of fans were moaning on Twitter saying, like, how can we pay 45 million for him and not for Werner? It's dead simple, really, because I thought it, and then I looked into it, and there's been a few people talking about it as well. For Timo Werner, he was only 45 million through his buyout clause.
Okay.
So for a buyout clause to be active, you've got to pay that money up front.
Yeah.
So Chelsea ultimately have given Leipzig 45 million this year. Whereas if we wanted to buy Werner, we could have, but we would have to go through Leipzig and do payment plans and stuff.
Yeah.
And it probably would have cost 90 or 100 million, which is what they valued them at.
Yeah.
So with Jota, we've only paid, I think it's something stupid, like 1 million or
I heard that 4 million was
because the main offset of it was by however. So we've ultimately valued however at 13.5 million and give them to Wolves. So then that's offset it for Jota. So this year, I think it's 9 million, isn't it? We're paying for Thiago and Jota, which is sensible business, really, because by the time...
Man, give him a knighthood.
Yeah, he deserves it, doesn't he? Because by the time the next payment comes round for these two players, we could have either won the league again, won any cups again. Yeah. You get money for progressing in the Champions League that could pay for it. The fans will be back in the stadium, hopefully, if Boris stops messing with the rules.
Oh, he can do what
him. So it's smart business, but with Jota touching on him, last year he played loads of Wolves fans. They're so busy, you know, I didn't even know. Right. You know, like when you're seeing them talking about Jota, they're saying like he's paid 45 million for our fourth choice player and all that. I looked into it. Last year in the Premier, he played 34 games. Now, it's only a 38 game season.
Right.
So he only missed 4 games. Yeah. He had 7 goals and 1 assist, which isn't marvellous. But one thing that I did like about him is out of his 7 goals, 4 was with his left foot and 3 was with his right foot.
I think if people are looking at stats and calling them out on stats, look at Bobby's numbers last year. But we still rave about Bobby, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. But with Jota... he can use both his feet. Yeah. And then like...
he's versatile as well. He plays across that front three, doesn't he?
Yeah. I like him. I really do like him. The only thing I don't like about that deal is how we're going. We bought him for 90k 2 years ago. We've sold him for 13.5
So yeah, we've done some good business there. Like,
but he's talented, you know. He is talented.
But the thing is, for him, from a personal point of view, how long is it going to be for him before he starts getting a regular game? And I think he's probably made that decision rather than the club.
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, Wolves are apparently getting Semedo or it's done, which is mad.
Nuts.
But then for me, if they're getting Semedo, where's However playing? He's a right back. I know they'll probably play him on the right of the 2 centre backs.
They play wing backs, don't they?
They play 3 at the back.
And then they'll probably play Semedo wing back, and they'll probably play him just next to Cody.
Got a good team, Wolves.
Yeah.
A proper good team. But yeah, going into the Chelsea game then. This is interesting because you and a lot of other people are thinking Chelsea could win the league this year.
Yeah, I'm fickle. I'm changing my mind.
But I was going into it. I was nervous, to be honest. And I haven't got nervous over a Chelsea team for a while. But I just thought back to like the Super Cup and that. Granted, we had Adrian and goal and Alisson, but when I think back, and even like the game when we lifted the league, they give us a go, Chelsea. And I was worried about it because I thought they've got Werner, who is rapid, and Havertz, and I'm a massive fan of Havertz. But he is so overrated, isn't he, in the Prem?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit early to tell, I guess, but up to now, he's been absolute garbage. Like,
I mean, it probably was the best time to play Chelsea because they haven't gelled. Even Werner looked out of it.
Yeah.
I've kept faith in my fantasy.
If Fabinho had him in his pocket.
Yeah, which is mad because the pace of Werner against Fabinho shouldn't have him in his pocket.
Fabinho shouldn't have got near him. But
he was sublime. And with the Chelsea team, like, the stats when I was looking at them, they surprised me. We had 61% possession to their 39. We had 18 shots to their 5. We had created 13 chances, they created 2, and we had 11 corners, they had 1. We were just dominant.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one to like take the stats too seriously because of the sending off.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 11v11, they give us a harder game without question.
Do you though? Because we were absolutely battering them in the first half.
Like, we dominated that second half, like, completely. Don't get me wrong, I think we still would have won, but I don't think the stats would have been as dominant. Like,
if that wouldn't have happened with Christensen, though, Mane probably would have scored. So they were going into half-time 1-0 down.
Yeah.
So ultimately, going into half-time 1-0 down against Liverpool's probably getting a sending off probably better. Because Liverpool know how to hold the game on.
Either way, we're winning that game. Whether he scores or whether it's the red card, we're winning that game.
I mean, obviously we can't judge Chelsea fully because the starting lineup didn't have Ziyech, didn't have Chilwell, didn't have Thiago Silva. They had Kepa in goal, which looks like he made another mistake for them. But one mad substitution was when Havertz come off for Tomori. Obviously that was to replace Christensen at the back. But Tomori's been heavily linked with Everton. And if he's getting game time for Chelsea, I know Thiago Silva's coming in.
Yeah, I think that might be a little showcase for him. Put him in the window. So go on, get your move.
Yeah,
go and show what you can do.
Not like he done much, but looking to the goals though. In fact, I just want to touch on Lampard saying it was not a definite red for Christensen deciding he was playing rugby for the afternoon.
Is he mad? By the way, like,
it's so arrogant, isn't it?
I can't even, like, I nearly lost my mind when the referee booked him.
Yeah.
Like, how, in what world is that a booking?
Do you know what? Honestly, I'm loving VAR this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
that's not
being used properly.
That's not because we've had 2 decisions.
No, but the thing is, it's being used properly where the referee's going to the screen, which is how it should be. It shouldn't be some guy in an office miles away.
Yeah.
It's just down to the referee's the one that's there.
Look, yeah, and he can then overturn his own decision. It's VAR over quite a lot of the games. I've watched loads of the footy, to be honest, since it's come back on. She probably hates me because it's just any game. I've watched Everton. I've watched every single Everton game. I watched the game against Salford as well.
Yeah.
Just because I'm intrigued by them. But with VAR, with them checking and they're overturning their decisions, it's what VAR was made to do ultimately.
Yeah. I've never been against VAR as such. I think in theory, it's a great thing, and it would only better the game. The problem was it was being used really poorly.
The only thing I don't like about this new footy rules is, you know, when a player's offside.
Yeah. They carry it on.
They let them carry it on and then see if they score to then check it in case it wasn't offside.
I'm not a fan of that.
It's mad. I mean, obviously, if you weren't offside, there has been times where a goal's been ruled offside through VAR and it's not been offside and they haven't carried the play on. And it's just, I understand it, but then 9 times out of 10, the person is offside and the referee's got it right because the linesman's there. Yeah. And I still stand by a human is better than this stupid VAR at like offside calls and stuff because the eyesight and the line of sight and that.
So as long as the linesman's in the right position and whatever,
it's sound. So I just don't like that rule. But yeah, crap. First goal though, Mane. It's mad. It feels like Liverpool when we first had Salah and Mane. I said this to you the other day, didn't I? That Mane scores one week, Salah scored next week.
And he take turns a piece of being like boss.
Yeah, it's almost as though because Chelsea were targeting Salah, so Mane had more room. But that first goal,
that was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, the build-up play, it was just pass. Bobby's cross was perfect.
Yeah, the header.
If you want your kids to learn footy, you just show them that goal and say this is how football should be played.
The way it built up, and it was as if it was from the training ground. Every single pass, and they knew what they were doing. It wasn't just like, although it looks like free flowing football and whatever. It looked planned.
They picked Chelsea apart, didn't they? It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Like a Chelsea team. I mean, granted, it wasn't their first choice 11, but a Chelsea team now had Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, Alonso, Zuma.
They have world-class players.
Tomori. Yeah.
Maybe it's not their starting 11, but a team like Chelsea have got a deep enough squad where if they're missing 3, 4, 5
players... It's like we were playing someone like Fulham or that who'd just come up and they just didn't know how to handle our fast play, but we've played Chelsea loads. We played them 60 days ago.
Yeah, did you see the... I didn't know this. I always get a bit anxious playing Chelsea
Yeah.
But that's the 4th league game in a row we've beat them.
Yeah, they aren't what they once was. I think it's more because when Mourinho was the manager and they didn't get beat at home, did they? Remember?
That was about 2 years or something.
Alonso broke the record, and then the rivalry's not been the same since it was Mourinho and Rafa. They just had their own little rivalry there. And I think in recent years, because there was that thing where Abramovich got his assets frozen, didn't he, in America and that. So they haven't been what they once was, but it appears that
they could be soon.
Yeah, he's getting his money back. I still don't think Frank Lampard's the right man for that job, though. I'm happy that he's there, but I just don't think that for Chelsea, if they want to win something, I don't think Frank Lampard's the man. It's too big of a job.
Yeah, I don't know. Time will tell.
He's went from Championship, where the main aim is to get promoted, whether it's through automatic promotion or through the playoffs, to Chelsea, whose aim is to win the league and the Champions League. Like, you can spend all this money, but it might not work. Look at City when they first got took over. They bought everyone. They bought Robinho. They bought Joe. They bought anyone who had a decent name back then.
But they also had big name managers, and it didn't work for them. So, who's to say?
I know.
Only at the end of the season, have you got any medals? Yeah, you've done all right. Have you not? No.
I honestly still think Liverpool will win everything.
I'm changing my mind now. I'm starting to agree with you.
I'm just so confident. Like, people have wrote it off before the season. We hadn't bought. And we've shown the Chelsea are one of the big 6 opposition. We weren't fazed by them. No. Like, we aren't defending this title, as Jurgen says. We are attacking it, and we were world class on Sunday. Absolutely world class. And there's nobody who's going to stop us. Like,
I ended up on a mad one on Sunday after that game. So it was like, I remember about half of the game, if I'm honest. I remember the important bits. But I just remember loving every minute. And you can't often say that when you play against Chelsea.
No, and that, even Mane's second goal, it was just...
Credit to Mane.
Credit to Mane. That video will be used by coaches forever.
Yeah,
like,
this.
You lose the ball, you get the ball. Look at this.
Yeah.
He was fuming. You seen him, he jumped up, he was fuming that he had lost the ball.
And then straight back at it.
Yeah, and I mean, from the off, I was saying to my mate, I was watching it with him, and I said to him, playing from the back is the most dangerous thing to do against Liverpool because of how high we press and how good we are.
How quick
we
are to react.
So we knew, and half knew that one of the goals, if we scored, one of our best chances was going to be from catching them out playing at the back, and it happened. Yeah. Like, who plays from the back when Sadio Mane's running at you? Kepa.
Who plays from the back when you've got Kepa in goal?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Bad, he's so bad. He's so bad.
I think his price tag has ruined him. To be fair, if they got him in for,
that's
whatever.
That's Liverpool's fault, that as well, when you think about it.
Because we just bought Alisson.
Yeah, so Sevilla obviously
so they wanted to flex and just say, well,
Sevilla's obviously said to them, well, Alisson's just went for this much money. We value him the same.
Yeah.
And he's just not that good. He's terrible. He's proper terrible.
He's like their equivalent of Pickford, isn't he?
Yeah.
Pickford. Thinks he's the big balls, but he's just not.
Pickford was terrible again. Against West Brom.
I tell you what, he was good against Spurs though. I watched him against Spurs.
Yeah, he was. That's
credit to him there.
Pickford reminds me of Guy Mignolet and Karius. They have a good game, have a bad game.
Yeah.
One bad thing about Thiago from the game, wouldn't say bad really. I've seen people saying he's playing 7D chess because Alisson doesn't save pens, does he? And he openly admits after the game. He was low on confidence, and that penalty save would have helped him.
Yeah.
So people were saying Thiago gave the pen away to Alisson.
I'm still like, that was a dubious pen for me.
Yeah, it was. I can't see any contact. He moves back.
He pulled out. Maybe the slightest. I think he clipped Thiago.
Yeah, I don't think it was a pen. Like, no. Really, don't think it was a pen. But yeah, Alisson saved. I'll be honest. When Jorginho stepped up, and Alisson's track record of pens, it's not great.
No, you just assume it's going in, don't you?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not bothered with Alisson not being able to save a pen really, because
he's got enough in his locker.
He's got enough to stop him even getting to a pen.
Yeah.
But when Jorginho stepped up, he doesn't miss pens. But then
that stupid little trot he's done on the way up to kick the ball, I hate that.
Before his pen, my mate said to me, he'll do a mad run up and bottom right.
Yeah.
Apparently that's all he ever does.
Oh, right.
And so be it.
Obviously Alisson knew that as well.
Yeah, he done it, and if you watch it back, Alisson didn't dive until Jorginho actually made contact with the ball as well, which was so confident in your own ability to be able to get to either side, either angle.
Normally you go early, don't you, to make sure you get it.
Yeah, and so there's a boss screenshot of it, and it's like Jorginho's. You can see the contact with the ball because it's raised a little bit off the grass, and Alisson's still just stood there waiting.
It was a poor pen. It was a poor pen.
Yeah, really, really bad. But it was on the other flip side, it was phenomenal goalkeeping as well. So I couldn't fault. The only fault I've got for that whole game is we had 9 shots off target again.
Yeah, I think with all that dominance, we could have done with another goal.
Yeah,
at least. But look, do you know what? You come away from Stamford Bridge with anything, and you've had a good day.
Exactly, yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, Everton were top till Leicester done us a favour, Big Brendan Rodgers. It was horrible to see, but at the end of the day, 2 games in, 2 wins. We can't really moan about it, can we?
I'm sure there's people moaning, regardless, but real proper fans.
All the FSG outers, I wonder where they are now.
Because gone back under that rock, haven't they?
Yeah. Probably until they see that we've only spent 9 million, they'll be like, get the Premier money out. So they're all moaning, get the league money out, like that league money. People are forgetting, me and you spoke about it at the start of lockdown, about where Liverpool wants to fill the staff, and I said it was a good idea because ultimately the staff weren't losing out on money because the Liverpool were going to top up to 20% to who's on full wage, so they would have got 80% off the government, and all them people who were moaning about us furloughing the staff are the same people moaning that we aren't spending money. Yeah. But they need to realise that
you got to balance it.
Yeah, it's a business, and although the FFP regulations are lifted this year because of COVID, John Henry isn't bothered about that. He's a businessman. Yeah, Liverpool has always been a business. So for people to be moaning about us not splashing the cash when Liverpool always run on what they spend, they don't ever. John Henry doesn't like Abramovich. Chelsea spent big this year. But they've had to have the Hazard money and who else have they sold? The one to Atletico. Morata.
Oh, okay.
He had his money as well. But then someone, like obviously the people on Twitter are mad, and they'd looked into like the books of Chelsea. And Abramovich had actually loaned Chelsea the money. So it's like an interest-free loan from Abramovich, which obviously owners can do. So FSG could do that, but he's not going to because it's not within his business model, and people can't doubt his business model when he went to the Red Sox, used the same business model and turned an average team into one of the best teams in the world again, and he's done the exact same with Liverpool with the exact same business model.
And you want success, that comes at a price.
Yeah.
Morally or whatever way you want to look at it, you can't have this. How do you want to call it? Like, you know. Family club, you know, just for locals and all that crap that the Everton fans spout.
Yeah.
You can't have that and be a successful business. The two just don't go hand in hand. It's impossible. If you want success, you've got to pay the price on the other side. Exactly,
and most Premier League clubs have took loans out for players this year. Liverpool haven't. So I'm not bothered. Like, at the end of the day, Liverpool fans were all moaning. Obviously, I was one of the fans moaning. Everyone was when Hicks and Gillette was in charge.
Oh, yeah, that's different.
But they were getting us into debt, and we didn't like it.
That was a terrible business model. That was no good for the club.
Exactly. So now we've got an owner who only spends what we make. Yeah. It's perfect business. Yeah. I think we're one of the short, like the least amount of debt in the league. Yeah. And one of the biggest clubs in the league. Look at United.
And one of the lowest net spends.
Yeah. And like, look at United. Look how much debt they're in.
Yeah.
And it's just like
they've still got the Glazers in charge. Yeah. Mental.
They don't sell them then. They put them on the stock market, haven't they? And that's United.
PLC or
they make a lot of money owning shares in United. Because the debt isn't their debt because it's on the stock market. Yeah. So they make a lot of money. So I like the Glazers, mate. Up the Glazers. I won't like if he gets that Jadon Sancho, which, if you've seen, he's been liking everything to do with Liverpool the past few weeks.
Sancho's?
Yeah, like when Thiago come. He's never played with Thiago. Yeah. They were rivals, Dortmund.
That's right, yeah. They were against each other.
He was liking everything when Thiago came. And I'd seen things on Twitter saying that Jadon Sancho knows that if he doesn't go to United this summer,
Yeah.
Liverpool or City will come in for him next year, which obviously they're the appeals in the league now, us and City. I don't think I'm going back to City because they wouldn't give him game time. He's went away to prove himself.
Can you see us getting him and Mbappe though? I think it's one or the other.
And if Mane and Salah both went...
Well, if they both went, yeah.
Because they're both young, Jadon Sancho would be 20 at the time, and Mbappe would be 23, 24. Yeah. So I can see it happening because FSG's policy is to buy young, so there is a way to make money on them, whether that be through success or through resale. So yeah, I could maybe see us getting both. But then if we get Ismail Sarr this year, I think it will be either Mbappe or Sancho. Yeah. Personally, dare I say it, I'd rather have Jadon Sancho.
No. I mean...
With Mbappe, he's unbelievable. But people like that... I just picture, like, look at Messi. Look what he's been like with Barca the past few weeks. That club's a joke at the minute. It's a laughing stock. If Mbappe came in and didn't go his own way, would he be like that? He's a superstar player. And the way I look at Liverpool, Jadon Sancho was also a superstar. A, he'd cost less money. B, he's homegrown.
Yeah.
And C, he's world class. And him working under Klopp, he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
He's younger than Mbappe.
He would cost less, I would say.
And his wage demands would be less. Mbappe will probably go to Real Madrid because they're probably going to say to him,
He is. Yeah, to be fair, he is more of a Real Madrid type.
Yeah, but Gareth Bale's on 600 grand a week at Real Madrid. They're going to offer Mbappe something stupid like that.
And they need to do that, Real Madrid. It's been a while since they've had that like Galactico thing.
Yeah.
With they just bring in one or two absolute superstars. They're selling that
Brahim Diaz apparently, which was mad because he was a superstar. I mean, Odegaard's there. But their team's not that strong anymore, and if they had Mbappe into
it, the teams of the past Real Madrid, you've got Zidane, proper Ronaldo,
Raul,
Figo, Raul.
Cost.
You know, the list goes on for the amount of like amazing players they've had.
The Spanish leagues, I read they're in a massive, like, they're in trouble because obviously in England we get a lot of TV revenue, which is helping balance books and stuff, and that we're over there, they don't get much.
They negotiate their own deals.
Yeah.
All the clubs. It's not like a Premier League where it gets split. Each club negotiates its own deal.
So it's Real Madrid now are getting the money.
Get the biggest slice of
the
the cake.
Both of them seem to be in severe debt. Like Barca, they've got rid of Suarez. I think he's going to...
he's still on the books. Yeah.
Still on the books. He's going to Atletico Madrid apparently. Because Juventus are getting Dzeko, which is mad. But Barca, like, they had Messi trying to walk out, selling Semedo. Why are they selling Semedo? He's 23. Yeah. They sold Artur to get 29 or 30-year-old Pjanic.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a mad. And in Real Madrid, when you looked at the starting lineup the other day against Sociedad, it was good to see Odegaard finally get his chance. That'll be fair. But then the rest of the team is just poor and aging. So Mbappe could be someone to go there and revitalise it, and I just feel like Mbappe's more of a Madrid player because they'll pay him what he wants.
Yeah.
Whereas Sancho's probably more, he's English, he wants to prove himself in the English league, the best league.
It would make more sense for us to get Sancho.
I'd rather him, honestly.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think people are all torn by how good Mbappe is.
Yeah.
But I think look, I'm not saying he's going to be like Michael Owen, but look how good Michael Owen was when he was young and how he had his peak early. It happens with players.
It does, yeah, absolutely. If he gets an injury, if he does his knee in or whatever, you don't really properly recover from that as a striker with pace.
Lallana was boss for us before he had his injury. Diox.
Yeah.
Look at Diox before his injury. And even now, so like with Brewster, he had a bad injury. And he was like the next big thing before this injury. And since then, the fact we want to sell him, I know we need to balance the books with Thiago and stuff like that. But to sell Brewster, who's got such... If we sell Brewster and keep Origi...
Strange one.
It makes no sense.
No.
Brewster is... Granted, he's a kid. Well, I always say our kid's going to get a chance if they're not going to be played. Origi... I'd rather him go. Thanks for the memories, mate.
Yeah.
But
time's up.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've got Jota and Brewster as your options off the bench, that's decent options. Obviously, Jota's going to get on before Brewster.
Yeah. Shaq's got to go.
I don't know. I think Shaq will stay.
Do you think he'll stay?
Because then, hypothetically, if we keep Brewster,
I like him. I like Shaq. I do, but I just something's not.
See, for me, it's more like out the front three now. You've got Mane's your number one on the left, and then Jota behind him.
Yeah.
Down the middle, it's Bobby, and then probably Minamino, and then on the right, it's Salah, and then the only other winger, so to speak, is Shaq and Elliott.
Yeah.
So if Shaq goes, we need somebody. I know Jota can play left and right, but he's more comfortable on the left. Shaq's more comfortable on the right, and given how thick and fast games are coming, like seen a stat of like 29 games now before the end of the year.
Jesus.
Tottenham are playing a few more because they've had to go through Europa League qualifying rounds. Tottenham's fixture schedule is crazy. They're playing Tuesday in a cup and then flying to like
playing Thursday night or something as well. Yeah,
playing like Macedonia, and they've been screwed over like we was last year ultimately. Given all the games, I do think we need 2 players in every position, and that's why I could see Shaq staying.
He's injured again, isn't he?
You don't know with him anymore. Like, he was injured apparently for all last year.
It's been reported that he's injured anyway.
Well,
just for someone, you know what? For someone who looks so physically strong, he gets injured a lot.
I think Jota's going to give him a run for money though with his calves. Have you seen him? There's a picture of Jota when he's doing his first interview and he's sat there in the change. He's like that. His calves are like that. He's giving Shaq a run for his money. I'm telling you. But yeah, like, because I don't think Elliott's going to go in. Don't think Elliott's good enough to cover.
No, not to push him for his place.
I mean, Jones has firmly cemented his place in the squad now. I think he's been on the bench both games. It obviously didn't get on against Chelsea, but he got on against Leeds. He's not going to get on every game. But the fact he's been given a number 17 and stuff. With Elliott, I think he's just too young. I think another year of him developing, he'll probably go and captain the youth setup because Jones obviously
he will get a few games.
Yeah, but I think it'll be the games like
it'll be
your West
he might play against Lincoln.
Yeah,
we'll get into that in a bit. But
yeah, well, we're moving on to that now. Really, they're actually an awful team, to be honest. That are having an half or right start to the campaign.
What division are they in?
They're in League 1. Okay. So. Not the best, but last season they finished 16th in League 1. So they had a poor season, and their biggest threat was someone called Tyler Walker. He just went to Coventry, scored 17 goals for them.
They played Everton recently, haven't they?
They played Everton last year in the second round of the EFL Cup, and they got beat 4-2.
I remember that because I was walking the dog in Stanley Park, and all the Lincoln fans had just turned up, and instead of going, I don't know, to County Road for a bevy or to the State of the Ground, they were all walking through the park to Anfield. Every single one of them that I see were going to have a look at Anfield before they went to play Everton.
Don't blame them. No. Did you see that we'd offered to pay for all their clubs to have coronavirus tests as well? Which it's mad. I mean, fair play to Liverpool.
Yeah.
But shouldn't they be getting tested before every game anyway? In League 1? Like, the Prem do it, like you see them when they're walking into the ground, scanning the piece of paper, that's the COVID results, and they're getting head checks, they got them at Chelsea. So why aren't Lincoln getting that in League 1 anyway for Liverpool to offer to pay for them all? And Liverpool should be paying for everyone in Liverpool to get a test. But they are to come by now. But yeah, so their main threat at being sold, but they've got a decent little player they bought from West Ham this season called Anthony Scully, and he's now Irish lad 21. But already this season, he's played 6 games, scored 3 goals, and I think he's had 2 assists. And they're second in League 1 this year.
All right. Have they played 6 so far, did you say?
No, they played 2-1-2, that's it. But they've played like the Checker Trade, the FL trophies. So he's played 6 games for them and scored 3 goals. But in the league, they played 2-1-2. So they're currently second, but it's like
they're in a good run of form.
Yeah, they're in a good run of form. In the last round of this, they beat Bradford 5-0.
It's a potential banana skin for us, isn't it? Depending on
these are the teams that always seem to get us. And like Bradford aren't a bad team. They got to the final a few years ago in the FA Cup or the League Cup.
They've been in the Premier League in the past 15 years.
But I'm sure they got to Wembley against the Prem team in one of the cups. Yeah, they definitely got to Wembley. Like I remember seeing it on the telly, and it was like a big. Like, because obviously
didn't City destroy them?
Yeah, I'm sure they got the final and got battered by City. But they beat Bradford 5-0, this Lincoln team. Like I said, this Anthony Scully seems to be the only decent player. Last season, he got knocked out the first round of the FA Cup, second round of the FL Cup. they had a really, really poor season, but they've started the season well. But I just can't see any other result of them as overturning them.
Can you see Klopp making 11 changes?
That's what I wanted to touch on. Do you think that we're going to play a youth setup? Because we said on a podcast a few weeks ago that Liverpool probably would have won Aston Villa if Klopp was in the country managing the youth team.
With the players. No, I don't know.
Even though Critchley done well, I feel like having Klopp there would help.
I don't know.
But I don't know. In terms of rotating, I could see Adrian's going to definitely play. Adrian will definitely play. Nico will probably play.
Yeah. Simicast will play.
Simicast will play. Vandenberg will probably play. And then maybe Billy Cumetio might play.
Is he fit?
In fact, didn't he get injured?
I thought I had...
He shaved his hair off, I know that.
Yeah, I remember seeing a picture on there. I think I sent it to you, didn't I? Yeah. I'm like, who the hell is that?
Yeah, I feel thought it was with Divock. I thought it was with Divock myself. But it was him. But
so I can see... Yeah, them three.
But the fact he's sold, however, makes me think that Cumetio's a talent.
Yeah.
For him to trust Vandenberg and Cumetio. Vandenberg, it doesn't excite me, but Klopp sees something in him.
Yeah.
When he plays, he reminds me of Lovren, mistaking him. Not a massive fan of him. But they're the only two options he could play centre-back, unless he's going to play Gomez.
I was going to say, what's the injury situation with Gomez? Matip's out for about a month, isn't he?
I haven't really seen anything about Gomez, so it might just be like a knock.
So that other centre-back will be...
Or unless he plays for Fabinho.
I was going to say, it could be... I'm pretty certain he won't play Van Dijk.
But where we're saying about resting people, we're playing Arsenal on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think he would rest players because Arsenal's a big game.
Yeah.
Given the fact that they've just beat us in the...
I do think he'll make 10, if not 11 changes. I think that the one that he won't change might be that centre-back through necessity. I think all the others, he'll switch it up.
We do that. I'm not saying we do. Do you think Thiago will play? I think he'll give him 90.
90? Oh, right. Okay, I thought probably he'll give him another 45.
I just can't see him starting against Arsenal.
Curtis Jones will start. He'll be fit. Is Ox fit?
No, he's out for a few months. Gruich, maybe. He's still here.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll play Harvey yet.
He'll play Milner.
I don't think he'll play Elliot though on the right. Harry Wilson is still a member of our team. He hasn't sold us.
No. I think he'll play Milner. Milner will be captain. In the midfield with Curtis Jones and...
Thiago.
I don't know.
See, when you say it, why would he play Thiago against Lincoln City?
Yeah.
Do you know why would he risk
for
it?
Arsenal.
So yeah, maybe it might be Jones, Milner. I
don't know.
Jones, Milner, and then one of the
Shane
kids.
Yeah.
We've got a few decent.
Yeah. Say Gruich might be.
Yeah, Gruich might be there. Down the left, I think Jota will probably get a few minutes. Minamino or Joe Hardy, that kid who played last year. And then on the right, I think it'll be Harry Wilson, to be honest. Unless he goes before Thursday. But I have seen no rumours of Harry Wilson leaving the club.
No.
Not one.
And if he plays Elliott ahead of Wilson, then I think that's it for Wilson.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Literally, he's just not going to give him a chance.
I'd keep hold of Wilson.
Yeah. Thursday's the game for Wilson. If he's ever going to keep him or ever going to play him, that's the time.
I think we should keep hold of him anyway and just be like, right, we've got this season's cramped together because of COVID. It started late. Keep the players. They've played them a few times and then sell them next year.
I think if he's going with that many changes, he's got to put a strong bench on.
Yeah, he usually does. He usually has got
to have some of the senior
big
players
there, just in case. You'll probably find that one of the front three will be there. So either Mane, Salah, or Bobby.
Probably Trent or
Bobby will probably be the one who goes with them because he's the one who can come on and change a game. And then you can probably see Thiago on the bench. He'll probably come on. But I'd like to see Gruich and Wilson because when you think about it, Brewster has been linked so much with moving, but Gruich and Wilson.
Can you see Brewster playing ahead of Minamino then?
No, I think he's going to go.
I think.
Yeah, I think him and Origi will go, and we'll bring someone in. But then where we're saying he needs backup, if Minamino's going to be learning the Bobby role, he probably won't go and buy an out-and-out striker.
True.
Because Bobby wasn't an out-and-out striker, he was a cam.
So, and you said that Jota can play there as well.
Yeah, and...
So he has got options, like.
And, well, you can play Jota on the left, play Mane on the right, and Salah down the middle as well. So there's a few options. We might not go and buy another striker, but I can see Brewster going. But with Wilson and Grujic, I'd like to see them get some minutes against
They need a chance. Otherwise, just get rid. What's the point in having them there?
I do like Harry Wilson. I think he's a good option off the bench. He's not world class. Don't get me wrong, he is not good enough to be a Liverpool player.
He shouldn't be starting, but he needs the chance to develop with the team.
Football needs a squad, and I think he'd be a good addition. He's got experience now in the Prem. Granted, it was with Bournemouth, got relegated, but he's had that experience, and he weren't terrible for Bournemouth. He didn't play every game for them either. No. But when he did play, he was decent. And against Lincoln, the type of game you'd expect him to just take the mick in.
Yeah. Really. Should, in theory, like.
Should. Or if Shaq's fit, he might get a go. I just don't... It's so hard to predict who we might start when we're playing games like this.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you like to see us go strong and attack on all fronts?
I'd like to see us go, not full strength, but I'd like a good mix.
Yeah.
I would like to say, like you're saying about Thiago, I'd like to start Thiago. I can't see him doing it. Yeah. I can see him getting minutes, but I'd like to see him start fairly strong. Have 4 or 5 first teamers in there. See the game out after half an hour or whatever, make a couple of changes at half time, get them off for the Arsenal game.
I'd like that. I just don't think he will in this cup. I think that'll be more FA Cup. Because, to be honest, the League Cup means absolutely nothing.
I know. It's to be fair, I'd like a run in all the cups to give the squad a fair crack at playing.
I do myself. I like the days out to Wembley. Yeah. And it has done me head in recent years, but then I get it because it's being prioritised and winning the league and stuff like that. So I get why we haven't been bothered about the cups. But I just can't see Klopp being that bothered about this cup when this cup was the one that messed him over last summer. Not last summer, last winter when we went to Dubai, well, not Dubai, Abu Dhabi, wherever the bloody Club World Cup was. And this was the cup where he said, you've still got to play.
Yeah.
So I could see him, or he then goes and, because it's his first game back, just thinks, and plays full strength and just thinks, I've got a point to prove sort of thing. I'd like to see us do well domestically this year. And it's mad because usually every year it's like, I want to see us win the league. I want to see us win the league. I want to see us win the league, but I think that's done.
Already?
Yeah. I do think it's done.
I mean,
think mentally, right? And I'm not looking too much into it, but we started before City kicked off yesterday, we were 6 points ahead of them. Now, regardless, I know they've started late because of the Champions League commitments and stuff, but that's still looking at it. I think, fucking hell, they're ahead of us there by 6 points, which is mad to think about. But I think
it did put the pressure on them for sure. It put the pressure on them.
Do you know what? Yeah, I didn't watch it yesterday. I watched the highlights on Match of the Day. They didn't even look that good.
They did enough to win the game, which is what we do a lot of the time.
Yeah, I suppose, but no competition.
They didn't scare me, but they didn't.
Grant, they've bought a few decent players. City, they bought that for Ferran Torres. He's decent. But then whoever's negotiating transfers for them,
I tell you, Ake, he'll do well for them.
Nah,
do you not think so? I thought he did all right yesterday.
The way I look at it, he's come from Bournemouth. They've been relegated. The amount of goals they conceded last year, nobody can get better overnight. He was Bournemouth's best central defender. Yeah, he's decent, but the money they've paid, I don't think they haven't replaced Company, and I feel like they're hoping that this is Company's replacement, and it's just not.
No.
And I just don't think he'll be that good. And then they're going to buy someone, I think, from Sevilla. They bid 50 mil, and they only bought him at 25 last year.
They love a 50 mil defender, don't they, City?
Yeah. I just don't think I think Pep had it all his chips on the table with Messi. And it was like, we need him. And the fact that he was turning to Messi shows that he knows he needs someone of Messi calibre to take us down now.
Yeah.
And there's no other team that scares me. United, people are saying, oh, United will be good this year.
They'll be better than last year, but they still won't be close to
They got
us.
absolutely destroyed by Crystal Palace. They're picked apart. I was watching it only because I've been watching the games that are people who I feel as though are in and around us. So I've been watching with interest.
So
more
you're
for
watching
this.
for Palace, I take it,
Yeah. But more for this as well, like the podcast, just so like obviously when we go to play them, I got a bit more knowledge on the opposition teams. And because there's nothing else to do because of lockdown.
That's another one you were saying about Lampard at Chelsea. I think Solskjaer at United is just a waste man.
Yeah. I think there's problems higher up though as well. At United, there's Ed Woodward. They don't like him. It seems like he won't pay the money for players, but then that could be the same as like Liverpool. But Woodward just isn't as smart as Edwards to finance them and offer mad things to make them say like sell on. Like if we sell Brewster, and we're getting like with Howard, we've got the option of a first refusal. If anyone bids for Howard, they have to ring us and say, these are bid this, you want to match it? It's mad, like some deals we get. And when you think about money, we got like 20 mil for Dominic Solanke, who only scored his first goal for Bournemouth in the last game of the season.
Jordan Ibe, we got about 19 mil for Jordan Ibe.
Yeah, he's on to Derby now, him.
He's had his issues, hasn't he? I've seen.
Yeah, he's come out and said he's had his issues. And that's the problem with like sometimes playing kids too young. Where we always say give the kids a chance, it can mess them up. And imagine for Ibe, he's gone from being doused as the next, tipped to be the next Raheem Sterling, if not better, by us, to go to Bournemouth and just not get a game. But yeah, like I just think we'll gonna win everything, to be honest.
I'm coming round to your way of thinking. I knew we'd do well. I was dubious as to how well.
After the Leeds game, people were doubting us and that again because it was such an open game. But every first game was how much more controlled he was against Chelsea on Sunday. But like against Leeds, if you go back to Klopp's history of games, like first games of the season, they're wild. The first game of the season is wild. It's just what Jurgen does. I think he just thinks, oh, let's go on.
Yeah, let's have chaos theory today.
Let people think that like we're finished and we're just not. It's crazy, and I just don't think anyone can beat us really. Chelsea were apparently our biggest. Them and City were our biggest like contenders this year, and Chelsea are nowhere near close to us.
Are you worried about Arsenal on Monday?
No. That Community Shield game, we can't go off that.
No, that's
that was pre-season, and is it at home?
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna get beat. We're not gonna get beat, even though the fans aren't there. Liverpool Football Club do not get. Touch wood.
Don't even say it. Don't even think it.
But yeah, we don't really get beaten at Anfield, do we? And I feel like with the Arsenal game, Thiago will probably play.
I think he'll start against Arsenal.
And I feel like he'll probably play Fabinho as well, centre back. Against Arsenal. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal have looked sharp. Lacazette's been looking decent. Aubameyang's got his new contract. They're looking decent, but
they're still not the finished article, certainly, because
they've only bought Cedric Suarez, haven't they? That's the only person he bought defensively.
Defensively, yeah, because they got Willian in, didn't they?
Yeah, so he's
looked good, by the way.
Yeah, Willian's looked like he's got something between his teeth to try and point to prove. Which is mad because Chelsea offered him more money to stay, and that's obviously
he must have been offered more.
But when you go as a free agent, you get to sign a bonus, and that's yourself, don't you? So it's like with Milner. When Milner came in, he was one of our highest paid players from the off because we got him for free. Best free signing ever, by the way. But touching on Milner, can you see him staying? More so now, Thiago's came in, and then when you look at the Leeds game, Jones got on before him.
That made me think he could still go.
I don't think till January.
Yeah, I think I've said this in previous weeks. I think he'll see how Leeds are getting on come January, and then if they can afford it.
It's whether Bielsa wants Milner though. I know we love him and he's so versatile for us, and Leeds do play similar to us. It's whether Bielsa wants him.
Yeah, because they have got a good midfield there. They've got that Klitsch and Phillips, and there's another guy as well. I can't remember, but
Jack Harrison.
would he even get a game at Leeds? Regular, guaranteed start? I'm not so sure.
I don't know. I really don't know. Because like you said, they have got a good team. They got like that Papo and Anders as well, midfield. I mean, don't get me wrong, James Milner's better than what they've got. But then if you bring someone in and it disrupts it, it could. Yeah. He's not as intense as their players. Like when Liverpool want to go and score goals, James Milner's not the one on the bench. No. James Milner's the one who's coming on. He's the trusty midfielder. Yeah. He's whenever James Milner comes on, you know he doesn't make mistakes. He's just
not very often.
No, he is the perfect modern day professional footballer. Yeah. People talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, but James Milner, for me, James Milner, best player ever.
I think that's bold. I wouldn't go that far, but
yeah, I mean,
he's been a great servant for Liverpool for sure.
Yeah, and I think he'll stay. I think he'll go, but I think he'll stay because I honestly can't see us anything past us at least doing a double this year. Yeah. So why would he go? Do you know what I mean?
Like, is his contract up in the summer?
No, we got a new one, didn't we, last year? I think it's 2022. Okay. That it's up. So I think he's got a year left after the season. But he might even finish his career at Liverpool and go into coaching with Liverpool.
That's possible. Because he has got a good relationship with all the team, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he goes to the youth games and that, doesn't he? I'd like to see him stay, to be honest.
Yeah, take on a coaching role.
Because why? I don't want it. Like someone like Milner, I don't want him to miss out on us winning everything this year.
That would be really nice for them.
Well, how many leagues are United on now? Are they on 20?
Yeah.
So
that'd put us up there, yeah.
Oh my God, don't even do that to me. That's the one thing I want because that's the only thing they got over us now because we're the most successful team again. But yeah, I do see us doing I look across Europe. This is the main, like, the Premier League, I think is no contest. I think people have got to catch us. Yeah. And we've now added arguably one of the best midfielders in the world to our already phenomenal midfield. Yeah. Jota, we don't know what he's going to be like for us, but Thiago is world class. He came on and looked like he'd been playing for Liverpool for 10 years. Like he just fitted in straight away.
The guy, at 45 minutes I've seen him play and I got butterflies. I was like, wow.
Like, you know he's good when like Stevie G is saying, I don't even care about any other signs. This one's got me butterflies. Weren't bothered about Bale and stuff like that. And I agree. Like, he's that good. But so when I look across Europe, the only team across the whole of Europe that scares me in the Champions League is Bayern.
Bayern. And
the only reason they scare me this year is because Leroy Sané's in the team. And I hate him.
Just look how they got on at the weekend.
He's well. Do you know whenever he used to come on for City? Yeah. He'd start for City, I'd be like, oh.
So dangerous, isn't he?
I hate him.
Fast, direct.
He's one of them players you love him if you've got him, but you hate playing against him because he is that good. Yeah. And then like Lewandowski, his goals last year were just ridiculous numbers. He should have won the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. They've got Gnabry, they've got Koeman, they're going for Hudson-Odoi, they've got Goretzka, Muller.
You know what? Muller for me is class.
Yeah. And because he's been around for that long, you don't realise. You think he's only like 31, 32. Yeah. He's not even that old, really.
And defensively, they're solid as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that kid, what's his name? Alphonso Davies. Yeah. He is well class.
He's that good. They've made that Alaba go centre-back, who is doing a great job there anyway, yeah.
So they are the only... Like, I looked at Real Madrid starting lineup the other day, not bothered. Barcelona...
Aging.
Although they've only lost Suarez, they're aging. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Messi might have a bit between his teeth.
They're on a downwards.
Yeah, and selling my heart off for Pjanic. Pjanic is decent, but he's older. Like Griezmann, they don't really start him. The only thing that Barcelona might have going for them is it looks like Koeman's starting to play Coutinho.
Okay.
And he's looked sharp. He scored the other day. I think, like,
they've got to play Griezmann as well.
Yeah,
what's the point in having Griezmann at your club? You're not going to play him.
And apparently they're getting Memphis from Lyon. Which, although we flopped at United, I could see him being decent over there. Yeah. They've just sold Vidal to Inter, haven't they?
Okay.
So I could see...
Another midfielder for Inter. How many have they got? They got more than us, haven't they?
Crazy. But Conte's doing well there. But yeah, so I can see... But then, so Real Madrid don't scare me. Barcelona don't scare me. Atletico Madrid, they're aging, but I think we would have beat them if we had Alisson.
That's what it's Atletico and Napoli are the teams that we struggle against in recent history, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although Napoli, they don't, like, watching them, they don't really scare me because they're not all that until they play us. Yeah. They come to play us, and
then since then they've lost Ireland to Everton, and it looks like they're going to lose Koulibaly as well. So they aren't going to be...
They're not going to be the team they were that beat us.
No. And then with Atletico, I don't think they would have beat us if Alisson was in goal.
Yeah, I just...
As much as I'm not one of them who's like Adrian out because of that. Obviously, he made mistakes.
He's just...
But he's a backup keeper.
Yeah.
He's not going to be playing in the Champions League. He was only playing because Alisson was injured.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get two world-class keepers.
No, you can't.
It's impossible. I mean, maybe going by Nick Pope or something. Do you know
What is he going to come and sit on the bench?
Exactly.
So it's...
But
he's as good as you're going to get for a backup keeper.
Exactly. Yeah,
although he's got mistakes in him and whatever, as a backup keeper, who are you going to get that's better?
Exactly. So I'm not fussed by him, but today don't scare me. Juve don't scare me because I think Ronaldo's aging now, even though he's missed the Champions League. He is aging. And I think they've just got Dzeko instead of Suarez, which for me is a mad one. Because Dzeko, they're around the same age. Although Dzeko's proven in Italy, on the world stage, he's not.
No.
Suarez is. Yeah. So that was a bit of a mad one. So they don't scare me. And
PSG don't scare me.
PSG don't, because I think they flop in big games. City always flop in the Champions League. United...
I don't fear anyone in England.
To be fair, United have got a good team for the European front. Like Fernandes likes the world stage. Donny van der Beek plays brilliant for Ajax in the Champions League. Pogba loves the world stage. Yeah, so they've got a good team for the European competition, but I can't see them. They didn't even win the Europa League last year. No. Do you know what I mean? I can't see them getting to that. So yeah, nobody scares me. The cups, where I'm saying we'll win everything, the only things I could see as maybe losing are like the Carabao Cup because Klopp's not bothered. Yeah. The FA Cup I could maybe see us going for because that's the only one and there wasn't one.
Yeah. It'll show on the third round who he plays.
Yeah, definitely.
Because in the past, even if we come up against another Premier League team, he still goes weak on the FA Cup in the early rounds.
See #United.
Yeah.
In the first round.
It's insane, isn't it?
Crazy. It's mad. Like I think they're still non-league then.
They're semi-pro or something, aren't they?
Yeah. It's mad because...
When did they form? Was it last year?
2012.
Was it that long ago? I thought it was only recently. Maybe I've only heard about them recently.
Yeah, they started... Basically what they started as was... they had... I don't know the full details of them, but I've seen them... like the passing as I've been watching stuff on YouTube. So they made a footy team. It was just Spencer Owen and his mates. Yeah. And it was like they then started they had an esports team that was on FIFA esports and that was on the rise. So they used to buy players who were decent at FIFA but half decent at football and they used to play Sunday League.
And they wanted a player on FIFA, didn't he?
Yeah. And then they had Scott Pollock, who then Northampton Town got them off #, and then he ended up on FIFA, and that's all they ever wanted was a player on one of their players on FIFA. And then from that, I think they then went into semi-pro. I think they might be in the Isthmian League, or no, they're in the Essex League, which is like the Isthmian League up here. Yeah. What people?
So it's like the 7th or 8th tier.
Yeah, 7th or 8th tier of English football. But to be fair to them, last year they finished. I think they were third or something with like 4 games in hand. But like 3 points off the top, because of the points per game ratio, it messed them up. So they didn't get promoted, so they'll probably go up again. Yeah. They're probably going to be like, they've got a massive following of YouTubers. Now, the YouTubers who follow them are all minted. Spencer Owen set up the Wembley Cup. Yeah. Like
they're all millionaires, aren't they?
Yeah, YouTube, they're minted, absolutely minted. So they are probably going to get far. It's like Salford.
Where are they based? Is it down south?
Yeah, Essex ways. But fair play to them, to be fair. Like, it's just
why not?
Some lad who loves footy. Yeah, he's made a footy team. He's invested his money. He's made off his channel into going far. And do you know what? I mean, first round you don't really get anyone, but anyone for them is like, even if they played Lincoln,
it's exposure for them, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I mean, he was on BBC last night. But even if they played, like, say, Lincoln in the first round of the FA Cup, that's big for them. Yeah. I hope they get to, like, the third round and they draw, Liverpool or United. Although there's no fans, it'd be boss. Yeah. It'd be boss for us because we'd walk them. But it'd be sick just to see, like, a YouTube team playing against the Prem team. It'd just be showed that, like, the FA Cup's boss. I remember when Warrington, when Peter Reid's brother Sean took them to... Was it like the third round or something?
I think so. Yeah, it was on the telly.
And they're non-league as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Was it it was the smallest club that come to Anfield, and they actually give us a game. Haventon, Waterlooville, to remember them coming to Anfield and actually giving us a go.
We go. Shamrock Rovers played AC Milan, didn't they, in the Europa League? And Paddy Power sponsored them. And they had all banners up like Slayton, Ibrahimovic, and he scored anyway. But they only won like 2-0, AC Milan, to be first and mad. So yeah, before we go then, give us your team and your score prediction for Thursday.
Okay, so we've sort of touched on it before, so we'll go Adrian in goal. I think it'll be Nico. I'm going to say Fabinho's going to play through lack of options next to... Who did we say?
Vandenberg.
That's the fella, yeah. Vandenberg and Fabinho. Then it'll be Tsimikas, Curtis Jones, Grujic. I reckon Keita's going to play.
Really?
I reckon Keita, yeah. Then we'll go Jota if he's ready. Minamino. Harry Wilson. I'm hoping Harry Wilson.
Yeah.
But there's something in me that's saying it's gonna be Elliott and Wilson's on the way. I'd like to see Wilson though.
What score do you reckon?
I think 4-0.
I'm gonna go pretty similar. I'm gonna go Adrian, Nico, but I'm gonna go Cometio and Vandenberg with Tsimikas. Grujic as a holding with Jones and Milner ahead. Just because he hasn't had much game time. And then on the left, Jota, down the middle, Minamino, and on the right, Wilson. And I'm going to go 6-1.
Okay.
And Harry Wilson's going to score a free kick.
If he plays, yeah.
And that's what I'm going to... Oh, and Curtis Jones, obviously.
Obviously, Curtis is going to bang an answer again, isn't he?
He's going to score a screamer. But yeah, hopefully we're through to the next round. Should be a pretty easy game. We'll talk after that before the Arsenal game anyway, but nice one as always, Ste.
Anytime.
Don't forget, so like the video if you're watching on YouTube, comment, share, subscribe, let everybody know all support is appreciated and it's been boss so far, so nice one for that. We'll see you all at the end of the week.
Yes.